Well, hello there and good afternoon from a not so sunny Singapore. But even if it's not that sunny today, today is a very special day because I'll be checking in to one of the city's premier luxury hotels, the Conrad Centennial Singapore. And I can see that they've already upgraded me to an executive room, so let's go get checked in and see what it's like to stay here. The lobby was really nice to walk into, and there was basically no wait to check in.
So I've given you the upgrade to the executive room.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Have the benefits as well.
Cool.
Is this your first time with us in Singapore?
Yes.
Singapore.
Yes.
Okay. What are your plans for this day?
Chill. Actually, we've been in Singapore for 3 days already, but spending time in a different part of the city.
And then for your membership, you actually have the My Way breakfast or the points.
Okay.
But since you already have the lounge, so you will have two breakfasts. I mean, you have a choice of two breakfast pieces.
Thank you. But now that I'm checked in, let's give this room a little look. But I'm gonna keep it quick because I do wanna head up to that executive lounge to eat some late lunch. This room could really be described as nothing other than classy. I mean, this bed is plush. It feels really good just to touch. And for being in one of the world's most tightly populated countries, this room is super spacious. Obviously, there is the bed behind me to sit on, but if you wanted to sit and enjoy some views out the window, this is enough space for probably about 10 people, and it covers the entire length of the room. Plus there's this nice seating area for me and my wife to dine, I suppose, or do anything else that we want. And Singapore curry leaf cookies, they left us a special treat. That's a really nice touch. And inside of the box that it's on top of, there's a nice, very nice plate with some cutlery with Conrad branding. So this has got to be one of the more spacious hotel options in Singapore, hands down. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. This room just feels very spacious. And it's really quite cool how these drapes are fully automatic. Let's give them a try. And since we've got them open now, why don't we just see what the view is like? There's some pretty cool stuff in the skyline over here. Over this way, you've got Marina Bay. And unfortunately, this giant Pan Pacific building is blocking a lot of what the view could be, because behind that Pan Pacific building, you'd be able to see the Marina Bay Sands Hotel, which is a pretty legendary hotel, and I was even looking at staying there. But the thing is, this Conrad had a much better deal, which we'll get to a little bit later in the video. But really, in this hotel, there are nice touches throughout. There are some orchids here in the corner, which is a really nice touch. And even though I'm staying here on a reservation that I only made yesterday, very last minute, they went out of their way to tell us happy anniversary because I am traveling with my wife to celebrate our anniversary. And then in terms of the art in this hotel room, they went with photography, which is, it's a very nice touch the way they do it. It's just very relaxed. It's not in your face, but it's also very beautiful. But I mean, these nice touches are really throughout, even in the closet, where they have Conrad branded bathrobes, slippers, and a whole selection of stuff that I'll just look through right now. Let's see, shoe mitt, shoe sponge. Can't say I'll make use of that stuff, but I probably will make use of these. And then there is a minibar with some of the stuff being paid, which honestly I always find to be a bit cheap of a luxury hotel. But I think that's just what all the luxury hotels, especially the chain ones, have. But anyway, while some of the stuff in the minibar is paid, there's a nice selection of coffee that you can drink, and then there's some complimentary drinking water. Although you don't really need complimentary drinking water in Singapore because they have one of the best tap waters in the world. But since we have gotten to the topic of water, let's go check out where the water comes from in the bathroom. Now, I'm not gonna lie here, this is not the most spacious luxury hotel bathroom I've ever been in, but it's pretty nice. It's got a bathtub, it's got a shower, and it does happen to have these two sinks, which is kind of the definition of a luxury hotel for me. I don't know why, but I think every luxury hotel just has to have two sinks. I mean, there is just nothing, absolutely nothing like being able to brush your teeth at the same time as your partner. But before we see anything else in the bathroom, like the amenities and all that stuff, there is a rubber ducky for my bath. That's hard to beat. I think most of you will agree that it's nice to have something that you can take home with from your hotel stay, and this is a pretty cool thing. Now, the bulk of the amenities are from a brand called Mojave Ghost, or if you speak Spanish, Mojave. It says on the packaging that this brand is Canadian, but the product was actually made in neighboring Malaysia, which is kind of cool. It's almost local. Let's give some lotion a try. But I can't say I find this lotion to be my favorite. It's a little bit watery, so let's check out the soap. They give you a bar, which, again, I always prefer soap gel, but other people do prefer bars, so that's what you get when you stay at this Conrad. But we're actually just getting started with amenities. There's some mouthwash here, and then there's a whole secret drawer right here that I just discovered. So let's take it out and see what they've got. looks like there's toothbrush. I mean, you're in Asia, you're gonna have a toothbrush, but I suspect their toothbrush and shaving kit might be a little bit higher quality than you'd find in 3 or 4 star hotels. So let's take a look at the shaving kit, because I've got this giant beard and that's always my #1 concern. Do I have to bring a razor or do I not? But I have to say, sadly in this case, I'm almost sure that this razor will not be able to handle my beard, and this shaving cream doesn't look all that luxury either. I'll give it a try later though. And then it's always nice when there's Q-tips and, oh, there's even like this dental floss thing. That's a cool touch. I wouldn't say that those define a luxury hotel at all in any way, but it's nice that they have them here. Then you've got a sewing kit, sanitary bags, shower cap, and well, that's about it, I guess. There's this emery board too. And this shower, although it's kind of small for a luxury hotel shower, is pretty sleek. It's got this nice marble, also this pink marble on the ground, like what you find in Italy actually. But here's the amenities. Body wash, gel douche. Yeah, made in Malaysia as well. Hair shampoo, I bet it's made in Malaysia too. Yep, they've got a factory right over in Malaysia. Let's just smell some of the body wash. It smells like, I don't even know, like aloe vera. Not sure that these amenities are what I would put in my home, for example. Let's see. Wash it off. And I've washed that body wash off, and I don't know, there's just not that much of a cool aroma. One thing for me that I would like to have in every luxury hotel stay that I get is a lot of different nice smelling soaps and shampoo. So I'll take a shower later, check out the shampoo and conditioner, but so far the amenities aren't really the strong point of this hotel room. And there is a scale in this bathroom, but it does not seem to zero out because I'm 100% sure that I don't weigh 46 kilos. I weigh quite a bit more than that. But perhaps the most peculiar thing about this bathroom that I've just discovered while using the bathroom off camera is that there's a mirror right here. Does anybody have any idea why there'd be a mirror right there? I can't guess. I have no idea why, and it's one of the stranger things I've ever seen in any hotel bathroom. Definitely let me know in a comment below if you have any idea why that mirror is there. But even though I've just checked in, over in the executive lounge, they're currently having tea time, I believe it is, which means there's going to be free food up there. So I'm going to go check out the executive lounge, and I'm taking you with me. Ah, hello there. Yeah, sure. Last name is Greer. Room number is
2606.
2606. I think allow me to check for you. One moment.
Thank you.
You just checked in.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this executive lounge is up on the 31st floor. I'm on the 26th floor, so 5 floors up in the elevator. And as promised, snacks. This lounge has beautiful views out of the windows, and even though it's just tea time right now, they have a lot of food here, so I'm gonna eat now. And for the happy hour from 6 to 8, the buffet spread is a little bit more impressive. But if you show up here at 7:50 like me and my wife did, then you've got to just grab what you can. But there's pastrami, parma ham, salads, and in true Conrad fashion, there's gold leaf on the dessert. I believe it's a mung bean dessert, if I'm not mistaken. And let me tell you, they will make you drinks here. But you get to decide if you want alcohol or if you want to relive your childhood dreams with a Shirley Temple. Well, it tastes just like it used to, minus the maraschino cherry, but everything else is just like at the Rainforest Cafe. Well, it's 10:08 p.m. and I'm just getting back to the hotel because I went to see the light show that was happening nearby. But let's go back a little. I got to try out both the afternoon tea and the later happy hour up in the lounge, and both were really impressive, to be honest. There was a lot of food at both of them, and in the end I didn't need to eat anything else for the whole day. And in terms of service so far, this hotel is basically just 10 out of 10. Like, everybody working here is seriously committed to doing their job perfect. From staff just somehow knowing my name to dealing with orders really quick, everything has been really great with service here. And I've got to reiterate, if you ever have any kind of special event that might or might not be related to the reason that you're staying at a luxury hotel, please tell the hotel, because I don't know if some of the stuff is just what every guest gets, but it seems like this Conrad has really been going out of the way to make my stay quite awesome for my anniversary here. The housekeeper showed up a few hours ago asking if we wanted turn-down service, and we said we didn't need it, but she just gave us some nice pour-over coffee, I guess for the morning or to take with us as a gift. And then the guy working in the lounge just handed us this box of chocolates just because. I mean, it's one thing if they had some chocolates as a part of the buffet, but him handing us personally this box of chocolates was just like a really nice touch. And another really huge positive about this hotel is its location. It's definitely not like the biggest building in the skyline in Singapore or anything like that. But it's located within easy walking distance of stuff like the Double Helix Bridge, the Super Trees, and the Marina Bay Sands Hotel. So like, if you didn't find whatever you need inside this hotel, you'd be able to find it nearby pretty much no matter what it is. And don't get me wrong, the malls around here and well, everything around here is pretty luxe, pretty high end. But if you're looking to dine and not spend that much, there's a bunch of reasonably priced options. And for shopping, it's kind of the same story. There is the high end, but there's also stuff like Uniqlo around. And that light show that I just came back from was actually super impressive, and it's free. I mean, there is really just a ton of stuff in this area. But there are like a ton of other luxury hotels that are competing with this Conrad around here. So for me, what really broke the tie and made me decide to choose this Conrad, besides the price, which we'll talk about a little bit later, is the fact that I hold Hilton status, which was able to get me like an upgrade, free breakfast, and I even am able to check out 2 hours later tomorrow. And in a very interesting turn of events, actually there was no turn of events, I just looked around in the bathroom a little bit more after I filmed that clip that I showed you earlier, and I realized that there are some bath salts for taking a bath, which is a really nice touch. Usually in any hotel you have to ask for the bath salts. Here they just leave them in the room for you, ready to go. So I'm going to go take a bath. I'm going to call it a night after that. But make sure to keep watching this video to the end because I've heard the breakfast buffet has some pretty awesome food in the mornings. And that's where I'll be headed tomorrow morning. And during check-in, I was informed that I have the option to eat breakfast up in the executive lounge, but that there'd be a lot less selection up there. So you know me, I like a really big breakfast, and we're going to head downstairs tomorrow morning. Well, good morning. That view's looking pretty much like it looked yesterday. Very beautiful. But one thing I did notice as I woke up this morning is that there's quite a bit of dust under here. And sometimes it's like when you're in a hotel, you just wish you hadn't looked somewhere and then you look there. That's what happened to me this morning. But it's time for breakfast, so let's head downstairs and see what that's like. Breakfast time. There's quite the line over here. Of course, it is worth remembering that you can completely avoid this line just by going to the executive lounge upstairs. But then again, you'll have less selection and maybe less high quality food. I don't know. That's what it sounded like the person that checked me in here was leading to. Yeah. Thank you. But while I wait in this long line, the buffet looks quite sizely here this morning. Basically, there are a few very large rows. One double-sided one here, and then a smaller but double-sided one over there. And there are many, many, many options. In fact, I'm seeing that there's even ice cream available for breakfast at this buffet. But the really important question, in my opinion, is do they have smoked salmon or not? So let's see that. Fruits. A nice cold cut selection, though. That pastrami from last night is actually missing here. Quite an assortment of local and Asian hot dishes. But what's missing for me is the lox. I'm just not seeing any lox here this morning. But there are a lot of nice other touches such as fresh juice and some other stuff that we'll find out about in a minute once I actually am let into this buffet to eat, not just to look around. Alright, thank you.
Would you like coffee, please?
Coffee?
Black coffee, latte.
Do you have pour-over coffee?
We do have black coffee, latte, cappuccino.
Black coffee and then some cold milk on the side, please.
Yeah, coffee is over.
Ah, okay, perfect. All right, thank you. Well, here I am, and it turns out, if you ask for it, they will give you smoked salmon. They've got it hidden somewhere in the back. This is a very strange buffet for a luxury hotel, not having the smoked salmon out there. But I'll give some of this food a try. And I actually ordered a black coffee with some cold milk, but I got what looks like an ugly cappuccino, so let's see if that's any good. Ah, you got my coffee? That's because I was drinking my wife's coffee though. This is a black coffee that I ordered. The coffee's not really very good though. But when I see fresh juice available, I am always intrigued, so I want to give this a try. That's really good. It's like a lot of celery in there, but it's still kind of sweet. Oh, this one's very BT. It's really nice touches. They do have this at the buffet at least though. And a very strange thing is that if you want to eat any dragon fruit, you need to take a whole dragon fruit and peel it yourself. Oh yeah, and they have pastel de nata. So you can just pretend you're in Portugal while you're in Singapore if you want. No, you can't. This is not anything like what you'll find in Portugal. And I saw this more Asian looking thing with a fish cake and a shrimp in it. I think it's egg based. I can't say I love the texture of this like very humid egg though. It's a giant hunk of dragon fruit right there. And another. They should just hire me to cut their fruit at this buffet. And it's really interesting how you get dragon fruits in the neighboring country of Indonesia that are like pink in color. But then here you get the white ones. And in Malaysia it seems like you get the white ones as well. The pink ones are just prettier and they taste a little bit different too. They almost taste like kind of like a sweet, yeah, they're like a fruit still, but like a sweet beetroot type thing with the seeds. But over here in Asia, this is not like a luxury $6 per piece food item. This is just like a regular fruit that people eat. That one's slightly tart. Still pretty good though. Yes Theory shirt in the house. And one thing I really despise about this buffet is the coffee and other drinks besides what you see, what I showed you at the buffet, are to order. So tracking someone down here is like, I don't even know how you do it because everyone's so busy. And they seem kind of overworked at this buffet. The whole general vibe is just like people rushing around to either get food or provide food for the people getting food. And if you've ever walked around in Singapore, there are all these orange juice machines everywhere. They're like, I don't know, it's like $3 Singapore for a cup of orange juice like this. It always says there's 4 oranges in the orange juice. But the thing is, they have that here in the hotel for free. Wait, it's not for free. You have to pay like, oh, we'll get to the price of this hotel in just a minute. And the food to order section, it just, I don't know, it feels kind of like inaccessible or something. But anyway, I just went over there and I tracked someone down and I was able to get this curry rice noodle dish. They call it Chinese curry rice noodles, I believe. And it's pretty good. It's spicy. It's got cabbage in it. Very broad noodles. But even if this buffet does have some shortcomings, they've got ice cream for breakfast. Hello.
Hi.
I'd like to eat ice cream. Do the panna cotta ice cream, please. Yeah, I think one scoop of that. If you didn't know, now you know. Ice cream is for breakfast. And walking out of the breakfast buffet properly full, I decided to just head back up one more time to the executive lounge to take in some more of those daytime views. And since I only booked one night at this Conrad, I was already getting kind of close to checkout time, so I wanted to just take a little bit of a look around at some of the facilities that I hadn't seen yet. Wow, when you go down in this elevator, you can really feel it in your ears. It's one of those faster elevators because this building is 31 floors. It's not even the highest building in the area though, not by a long shot. But I'm gonna have to leave this hotel soon, unfortunately. It's almost 2 p.m. and I just want to take a little bit of a look. My ears are popping. And see what the spa and pool look like here. So it looks like the pool is over here, as is the spa. It's not so terribly hot today here in Singapore. And it's not all that huge, this pool. But wow, it does have a really cool view with the Singapore Flyer Ferris wheel in the background. As far as I can tell, there is no indoor pool. Just a little bit interested to see what the water temperature is like. Okay, it's kind of cool. It's definitely cooler than the air temperature. Well, the air temperature is like probably 31, 32 degrees Celsius. So yeah, you could go for a dip, cool down, go back in the sun here, maybe get a little sunburn, and stare at the Singapore Flyer, if you can see it over the hedges. It looks like a solid pool. But I do have to point out that for the size of this hotel, it's a pretty large hotel, it's a pretty small pool. So if occupancy were actually nearing 100% and people wanted to go to the pool for whatever reason, then I could imagine this place being pretty busy. Today, there's just a few people around though. And here's the spa and fitness area. So I'm gonna pop in here, see if I can't see anything. Looks like it might just be a gym though.
So unfortunately, we don't have any sauna or steam room.
Okay, no sauna, nothing like that. All right, cool. All right, I'm just taking a look around. Thanks so much. Yeah. All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Have a nice day.
Yeah, you too. And interestingly, while they do have the spa area where you can book treatments that are, well, they'll probably be pretty pricey in this hotel, to be honest. They're definitely really pricey. I'm not even going to check the price. You can't actually go in the spa on your own and use the sauna or steam room or anything like that. That's a bit of a downside. In fact, this is the only luxury hotel I've ever stayed in where you can't access some sort of spa facility beyond just a pool and a basic gym. And there are a few different event spaces around on this 4th floor where the pool is as well. It's kind of a strange pool area, to be honest. But this is just what they have here at this hotel. And the private event spaces do actually look pretty nice. This is one of the entrances to the one here. Looks like someone's actually booked it though, so I don't think I'll be able to go in there. All the tables are set for some dining to happen. And I am so close to checkout time right now that I've just got to go back in my room here and we'll summarize my experience over at this hotel. So, let's try and summarize the experience I've had over here at this Conrad. Basically, the location is really awesome. That's possibly the biggest benefit of staying at this hotel. By staying at the Conrad, you're just within an easy walk of a lot of different popular sites in Singapore. Though I do have to say that it's pretty easy to get around just about anywhere in Singapore, so if you weren't staying in a central area like this, you could probably still get to the sites pretty easily. But as far as the views of the surrounding area go, I don't think this is like the best hotel you're gonna find in the area for great views. And this is basically just because there's a lot of other skyscrapers around too that block views in certain directions. But as you can see behind me, there still are definitely amazing views here. And I'm staying on the 26th floor, by the way. And I also really enjoyed the views from the top 31st floor executive lounge. Although the windows weren't like 100% clean anywhere, so sorry for that showing up in my videos. I'd say there are really only kind of 2 downsides to this room that I encountered during my stay here. First off, outside of the bath salts, the amenities just aren't that interesting here. They don't have much of a character. And outside of just talking about the bathroom, I do feel like this room in general is just lacking a little bit of some kind of uniting character. There is nice photography on the wall, the bathroom does have nice marble, but somehow it doesn't really all come together for me anywhere. And I suppose you could say the same thing about much of the hotel. Like, there is some really nice art throughout this hotel, and the way things look in general has some, I guess, feng shui. But I don't really feel like any united identity of what this Conrad is anywhere. Like, if you walk into a Ritz-Carlton, the second you're in a Ritz-Carlton, it just feels like a Ritz-Carlton. Here, it feels like a luxury hotel for sure, but if there weren't the Conrad logo out front, you could probably mistake a lot of this hotel for a regular 5-star Hilton. But there was a second downside that I've really got to mention to this room, and it's the fact that there's a lot of dust in this room. Upon checking in, it definitely felt very clean. But after I spent some more time in this room, I did start to notice that there's like a lot of dust under the furniture and in the air conditioning unit, which could seem nitpicky if we were talking about like not a luxury hotel. But in a luxury hotel like this, you would expect that that stuff is dealt with really frequently. And if you look under the sofa that I'm talking to you from right now, it's obviously not been dealt with for, I don't know. That's many, many months of dust. I don't know. I'm not gonna say years. It could be years though. And I mean, I personally am allergic to dust mites, so that's not super nice to have in the room. But obviously I stay in hotels all the time. I'm just traveling all the time. Most of them do have dust, so I'm dealing with it okay. But if you were thinking of staying at this Conrad, it's probably worth keeping in mind that it could be pretty dusty. Still, anything immediately visible is very clean, sparkly, and although, like I said, it's a little bit dated in this room, this carpeting is not brand new or anything either, it's pretty nice. And the bed was really comfortable to sleep in. I have to say I had like a solid 8.5 hours sleep last night. That worked perfectly. But this thing to sit on is like, I don't know. I don't know if I would put this in my home. No, I know I definitely wouldn't put this in my home. It's not really the greatest use of space probably. It does kind of block your access to the windows. And I don't know, it's just not that comfortable to sit on. There's these 3 pillows. By the way, like, I don't know how they would clean these pillows that well, you know? There is that element. And then this thing is, I don't know, it's some kind of like synthetic material. That doesn't feel all that luxury once you actually get to sitting on it. Maybe it looks kind of cool in a video, I don't know. But the small dining table or work table, whatever it is pretty nice and functional, and it's a more comfortable place to sit in one of these chairs than it is in where I'm sitting right now. But this chair doesn't offer the same view that's behind me, so you know. And I think it's also really worth keeping in mind that this room that I'm reviewing here is not just a regular basic room. This is an executive floor room. So there's probably a little bit more to this room beyond just executive lounge access than you'd find in the non-executive floors. Basically, I'd say that although this room is spacious, it's relatively comfortable, and it has great views, there's nothing super memorable or special about it. So while it definitely fulfilled all of my needs and then some, it's still a little bit lacking in terms of what a luxury hotel could offer. But one thing that really does a good job at making up for any downfall that you might encounter with the hard product at this hotel is the people working here. The service is almost always really great, except at breakfast this morning, I have to say it wasn't so good. I think it's definitely relevant to this review to understand that I stayed here on a Sunday night when occupancy was down. So for the most part, that seemed to mean that facilities here weren't like overcrowded with guests. But when I went out to breakfast, there was a really massive line, and it took about 10 minutes to actually get seated. I mean, the quality of most of the food that I had at breakfast was pretty good, but the amount of selection was probably a little bit low if you compare it to really any other luxury hotel. And the service just didn't feel like personal at all. And I mean, I'm only speculating here, but I'd say that most of the guests would have probably felt a little bit ignored at one point if they needed anything from any person working there. But then again, when we're talking about food, the executive lounge did have a nice spread of hors d'oeuvres and stuff like that last night, and for the tea time yesterday earlier in the afternoon. So as far as food goes in this hotel, it's pretty good, maybe a little bit short of what you'd expect from a luxury hotel. So I mean, if I had to just sum my experience up here in a few words, basically you get an almost luxury experience here, and if you get upgraded or book an executive room, you'll get some perks, yeah. And to be fair, I've never stayed at any other luxury hotel in Singapore, but just comparing to some of my other luxury hotel experiences, this one just falls a little bit short when it comes to food, service, and the room that they have to offer. Not a lot short, don't get me wrong, I had a nice time here, but then again, it is really worth considering the amount of money and points that I paid for this stay. I actually hadn't planned to spend this night in Singapore, but due to some last minute changes, I ended up spending the night here in Singapore. And that meant I needed to find a hotel pretty last minute. But when it came down to it, this Conrad actually had one of the best rates in town, even though it's a 5-star hotel. I actually made this booking by combining some of my Hilton honors points with cash, but if I had wanted to just book it with cash, it would have cost me a little bit over 500 Singapore dollars. I think the conversion was to something like 388 US dollars when I did it a few days ago. But the thing is, I had about 40,000 Hilton honors points sitting around, and I didn't have any immediate use for them. And for me, the best strategy with hotel points or any kind of points and miles is usually to earn and burn. If you just leave them sitting around in a mileage account for years on end, they're definitely going to lose value. So for this day, I decided to combine points with cash and redeem 40,000 Hilton honors points plus 167 US dollars and 65 cents. While that's definitely not the exact same thing as getting a luxury hotel for $167, that did feel like a pretty solid deal. And after having spent the night here, I have to say that I definitely got pretty decent value. Was this the best or cheapest luxury hotel stay that I've ever had? Definitely not by a long shot. But based on my experience here, if competing hotels in the area were charging a ton more and this hotel was charging something similar to the deal I got, I'd probably stay here again. But what about you? After watching this video, would you stay at this Conrad? Let us know in the comments. And if you like this video about my experience over here at the Conrad Centennial Singapore, then make sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel for many more travel videos. Thanks so much for watching.